Hello and welcome to a video from filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. Link in the description of my website. Today we're going to be looking at, we've been working on web scraping, and based on conversations I'm having with viewers in my Matrix chat room, which you can join by going to filmsbychris.com and click on the Matrix link at the top, I'm going to give you some demonstrations on something from examples that I've made to explain things, and then we'll look at some real-world examples of the same thing. Hopefully you've been watching this series. The previous video, I was talking about this proxy list search and scraping. And again, I've made 3 different examples here to show, similarly to real world things, what might happen. And then again, we'll look at a real world thing. Again, right here, this page is an example. All these IP addresses and ports were randomly generated by me. These are not real proxies. These are just pretend for you to practice your skills on. There'll be a link in the description to all 3 of these because there's 1, 2, 3, all that look the same, but all function differently. Right, so here we are, we have this simple website I created, and let's say you want to get this list of proxy servers and their ports. Well, how do we go about doing that? First thing we're going to do is go to this website, hit F12 to open up your developer console if you're in a Chrome-based browser. The key might be different if you're in Firefox. I haven't used Firefox in a long time. We're going to go to the network tab, and we're going to click refresh. And the first thing I usually do, we'll click on this little filter button here for fetch XHR. Lots of times that is the information you want. If you click that and you get something like this, some JSON, look at this. We have some clean JSON here that clearly states what the proxy IP is and the port number. Really, it'd probably be better if I named this port or IP or server, but I called it proxy. But what I can do now is I can right click this and I can say copy URL. And then I can just use wget, right? Wget -q for quiet, capital O and dash, so we can dump it to the screen, but we can also dump it to a file. And then we'll give it that URL, and we get the nice looking JSON, which then we can use something like JQ or even just grep and cut to get the server list that we want, or we can just save that to a file. So that's super simple, well formatted, easy to use. Let's look at this second example, right? So again, click on this. This is proxy list 1. We're going to proxy list 2. And if we hit F12 now, go to the networks tab, we'll start on all, we'll refresh the page. Again, this will show everything that's loading from this website. We'll click on the filter for fetch and XHR, and nothing shows up. Okay, so we may not have the clearest data. Let's go back to all. Again, not much is loading. On my example here, to keep it simple, not much is loading. Let's go ahead and click on this HTML and look, if we look at the HTML, there is a list of IP addresses and ports here. Let's go ahead and just right click this and say copy URL, or in this case, we can actually just copy this URL because it's the same thing. Wget -qo and give it that URL, and we get the HTML. You can see, again, lots of websites will do this where it's not formatted nicely. So we could dump this into something like a WM3 or some other shell web browser. But let's just use some basic tools. I will take that command again, and now I will say, let's go ahead and just grep for something that we know. We'll say grep 126 and see what we get. Okay, so we have, again, that list there. And in those lines, there's HRs, right? Line breaks, horizontal line breaks. In real life, hopefully there would be some tags that you can grep from, but I'm just going to grep for HR and see what we get. It looks like we get the information we want. Again, not beautiful. Let's pipe that into sed, and we will run this command. We will say look for all less than symbols and make it new line less than symbol. That's going to break our tags up on the different lines. Look at this. We are doing well. We basically have our list here. We just still have that tag. And there's different commands we can run. I've shown in the past commands to remove all tags, but this is just one tag. So now, actually, we can use that same sed command. I can now say substitute our HR tag for nothing. And now we have our list of IP addresses and ports. That wasn't too difficult. Wasn't as nice as having the JSON, but we were able to get it simply. Again, it'd be a little more complicated depending on how complicated the format of the website is, but it shouldn't be too hard in most cases. But in both those cases, you're getting your information. The creator of the website is not trying to hide something from you, which is horrible. Any program that's trying to hide stuff from you, any programmer that does that, in my opinion, and you may have different standards, but I consider them a bad programmer, right? The point of a site like this is to give you a list of proxies. So if the designer goes, oh, I'm going to make it hard for you to get that list of proxies, they're basically making their program harder to use. And in my opinion, that makes them a bad programmer, because no programmer is going to make their program purposely harder to use. Hope that makes sense. Let's look at the third option here. Now we're looking at proxy list 3. We'll open up our developer console, go to network. We will refresh the page. We'll try to filter. No JSON. Let's say all. Let's click on the HTML here. We're not seeing our list here. We can also click over here and say Control U to look, and we can see, okay, no, that's basically what's being shown over here. So the page is basically empty. We're not loading any external JavaScripts or any other files. We have some JavaScript here, right? So now we can look at this, and there's a big long line there. Now, some people might look at that and think, oh, it's gibberish, but for those of you who are familiar, you look at the end there, you can kind of tell, okay, this is base 64 clearly. So I could just copy that from there, but let's try scraping it. Let's go ahead and just grab the URL for this page, say wget q-o, and that will dump it to the page. And I can see it here. I'm just going to grab part of that string, and I'll grep for that, right? So hopefully that's the only part of the page that has those random characters on there. We do that, and we get this output here. It says const list, so we're creating a variable in JavaScript equals this. I just want what's inside those quotation marks. So now I can pipe that into cut, and I can say with the delimiter of quotation marks, field 2. That will get us everything inside these quotation marks. Basically this. At this point, I could copy and paste this, but we're trying to automate it with a script, right? Boom, we get that. So let's run that same command, but this time put it into command base 64. Oh, I typed base twice. 64-D. And look at that. It is our list from before. So we can now take that and we can do just like before. We can say sed, and we can do some substitutions here. We can say greater than symbol is actually, I'm sorry, less than symbol is new line, less than, and then we can get rid of our HR tags. And we get a list like that. So this is an example where the creator of the website, in this case me, is trying to hide something from you by just using base 64. Pretty simple example, because if you're familiar with base 64, you're going to see that, go, oh, that's base 64. Again, the page might be more complicated. You might have to search through it a little bit more. But if you see a big long string like this and you're looking for a bunch of information and that information's not there, you can think, that might be what I'm looking for. So those were examples I made just to simplify stuff. Base 64, I've seen websites do that where they hide the information in base 64, which again is an encoding, not an encryption, because base 64, you don't need a passphrase or a key to unlock. You just need to decode it. It's like written in a different language, basically. Let's look at a real world example that we looked at in a previous video that a viewer brought up. Here is a page that lists proxies, right? So in the previous video, let's go ahead and hit F12 to open this up, and we are going to reload the page. We can try filter here. There's nothing under the HR, XHR that we're looking for. Let's go ahead and just click on this main thing here, and we can scroll through here, and let's go ahead and make this. Again, I know that the font's a little small in here. But if we look through here, we can see certain things like right here. And the first thing in JavaScript, we have this eval, and we've got some encoding of characters, parsing of integers, some regular expression stuff. You're thinking, okay, if this is just a simple list, I mean, if you look at this page, it's fairly simple. Why is all this in here? And we can say, start looking through here, and we can see that when we get to certain parts of the page, here's an IP address from the page, right? So grabbing the IP address was easy, if you remember from the previous video, with the port number. And it's because for each port number, they're actually using this write command to write the port, and they're doing math based on some variables they created. Again, you could look at this page, you can backwards engineer this, and you can figure out how they did this. And then at that point, you can grab that list of ports and decode it yourself. But if a user, a developer is going through this amount of headache to make it difficult for you, again, they're just a bad programmer. Why are they doing this? Why are you wasting your time with this? If it's information you can get somewhere else, maybe you should go somewhere else. If I was to close this and just open up a Google search and say, we'll say free proxy list, you can see there's a bunch of sites that have lists of free proxy lists, right? You can click on these, and some of them will probably be easier to grab the information you want. In particular, I mentioned when I searched this the other day, one of the first sites that came up was this GitHub project, which has a list of proxy servers and their ports. And if you actually go to this project, they're actually scraping it from somewhere, and they're updating it every hour. So this list is going to be updated every hour. At this point, I can just take this, and anytime I want, I can say wget and give it that URL, and it just dumps the list. I don't have to do any setting, any grepping. People are doing all this for me already. And you could say, oh, what if that project goes away? Well, you could say that about any web page. If you're grabbing it from some proxy website, especially if they're already trying to hide stuff from you, one of the things they can do is constantly change the format of their page. And even if you backwards engineer everything, maybe a week from now it's going to stop working. So this is something you look at. And also, we can list out right now. Earlier I was getting 500 something. Now there's 887 servers in that list. So again, you don't need to understand. The person that was asking me about this was trying to figure out how to click on options in the page to load different things. No, everything that you need from a page, when you hit F12, in most cases, and there are ways that they can actually hide things that are loading, that really the only people I ever see do stuff like that is Google or Facebook. Big companies might make it difficult that they can encrypt stuff in here and hide it from you. But there's usually a way. All the information you're looking for is loading in this page. If it's on the page over here, it's loaded somewhere over here. And in some cases, they try to hide it, okay? But it's going to be there. If you can find where it is, you can pull it out. But if they're making it hard, think to yourself, why am I using this website if there might be another website that can give me that same information? Also, as a complete side note, don't just use random proxies all the time. Some people think that they need a VPN or a proxy for security reasons. And really, it's a horrible idea in many cases. There are times to use VPNs and other types of proxies and whatnot. But when you can, depending on what you're using it for, lots of times it'd be best if you set up your own proxy server, your own VPN, or tunnel stuff through SSH, depending on why you're using it. But some people think that, oh, I'm just going to use a proxy, or I'm going to use this VPN for security, but they don't even know what that means. If you're using a VPN and you're a proxy and you're tunneling your traffic through these servers, you're just moving the problem down the line. And now everything you do, when you're online, most websites these days are encrypted. They use HTTPS, which is great. Some people, you'll use a VPN in case you're worried about stuff that is not encrypted. Well, now if you're using somebody else's VPN, you're just giving them all that information, right? Especially these free ones. You don't know who's running this, but even the ones you pay for, why trust them? Set up a VPN at home, set up an SSH tunnel, some sort of proxy, but really, there's no need to do that if you're visiting secure sites, right? And the only reason you may not want to set up your own at home is maybe you're trying to pretend like you're in another country. So you're trying to be sneaky. At that point, I guess you can use a service, but be aware that you're tunneling your traffic through somebody else's server. So there are times to use proxies and VPNs and SSH tunnels, but not all the time. It's going to affect your speed of your traffic, right? If you do a speed test, you're going to have a large download speed, and in most cases your upload speed is going to be 1/10 of that, just in general. So yeah, you can set up a VPN at home or some sort of proxy at home, but realize that your top speed is going to be 1/10 of your max speed, because you're now tunneling all your information through there, and you're basically uploading the information to where you're connecting from. Anyway, just don't think, oh, I'm going to use a proxy for security, because you might be making things worse. Anyway, that's a whole side rant I just thought I'd bring up. Don't just do something because you think it's more secure if you don't truly understand it. Thanks for watching. I hope that you found this useful. Again, there'll be links in the description to all three of these examples so you can look around and play with them. But understand that everything you need loaded on a web page can be pulled from with wget and curl, but they are not web browsers. They're not going to render out the page. They're for pulling the requests, which the information you're looking for is going to be in one of those requests when the page loads. You just need to find it. And you can skip. The person I was talking to about this, he had written some code in Python using, what's it called? Selenium? Something like that, which basically just loads your web browser in the background. It's there, you're loading Chrome or Firefox in the background, which means you can't do it if you're truly running on a headless server, because you need a display server, to the best of my knowledge, running even though you're not seeing the web browser. You're loading up a whole web browser just to pull some information. And his code was close to 100 lines, where, again, we were able to get the same proxy information in one single line using wget. So don't overcomplicate stuff. If you're going that route, you may need to stop, pull back, and go, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Because just to pull some basic information from a website should only be a couple of lines. It should only be really one command to get the information, and then maybe a few lines to format it properly. If you're going beyond that, you're overcomplicating things. You need to step back, take a breath, and think, am I doing this the right way? That's kind of the point of this, is just taking a moment and saying, am I overcomplicating this? Because it's very, very easy for us to go down a rabbit trail and overcomplicate things. Anyway, thanks for watching. Filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with the K. I hope that you have a great day.